Hello everyone, welcome to Tier Above the Rest. Today we're going to be looking at Atletico Madrid and we're going to rank them from S to F for the 2024-2025 season. So let's get it started. First off, backup keeper, F. Let's be honest, you don't play because you get replaced by Oblak, whatever you want to call him. He's been there for like 50 years now. No one's even like batted an eye. He's one of the better keepers in the world. And he gets an S, and the other guy there gets an F because let's be honest, you don't play. Oblak is never going to leave this club anyway, so you got another 5 years on the bench. Just go to a different club. You know what? I'm gonna put this backup keeper here as well. It's an F. Surloth, we're gonna give you a B. The reason you get a B is you had a really good season at Girona, but when you came to Madrid, we were expecting big things. Expecting big goals, big moments. You're probably gonna start in this 4-4-2. There's two strikers. You expect to be started. And guess what? That just didn't happen. Simeone didn't trust him. He played off the bench a lot, barely got starts, and he didn't prove his worth a lot of the times either. He scored some goals here and there, but then he's missing tap-ins or missing easy goals or, going 90 minutes without scoring many, many times, multiple times as well. So for that reason, you get a B because you did not hit your expectations, but you did, you weren't the worst squad player. Axel, you get a C. You're slower than like a snail. You're slower than Sergio Busquets. It's time to move it along. You've been in this team for a long time as well, and anyone can just walk past you. So you get a C for that. You do, put in good performances here and there, but overall it's a C. Clement Longley, I hate to say it, but you were a B. You played pretty well this season. On loan from Barcelona. You did your thing, man. You did your thing. You're a left-footed center back. You played majority of the games. Yeah, I can't hate on that. Now you got your permanent move to Atletico Madrid, so good for you, Longley. Stay there, have a successful career. Yeah, that's it. Nothing more to be said. Conor Gallagher, you get an A. It's always interesting watching an Englishman go to Spain or any international league, because they don't really leave. But he decided to join this club, and he's bodied that midfield. He was there. He was showing his grit. He was showing his firepower up and down the field, defensively, offensively. Solid transfer for them. I think they didn't pay much for him either. I think maybe like 40, 50 million. For sure, Englishman isn't much. We all know about the tax. But solid player, and he gets an A for that. Azpilicueta, you get an F. I don't think you ever played, and whenever you played, you probably got cooked. So you get an F. Jimenez, give you a C. You played off the bench a lot, and age is catching up to you. So I give you a C. Yeah, you weren't that reliable. You were getting angry every time you were out there. You get a C. Just move on. Go back to a smaller club and just play there. Simeone, Giuliano Simeone, the coach's son. Obviously that's not like something to look out for, but he gets an A for me. I think if you look past that, he's the coach's son. He's actually a very good winger, very hardworking. Could play on the left, on the right, up the middle. Hardworking, pacey. He's a good winger. Honestly, he's a very good winger. He's a tall winger as well, and he puts in work. He's a hard worker, and it's good to see players like that. And he's proven his worth out there. He's had big moments, and I think someone like him, he's gonna be at this club for a very long time, and he's got a very successful future. So if you haven't heard of him or seen his game before this season, I mean most of us haven't, but this season he really broke out, and he's someone to watch for sure. Anton Griezmann, give you a B. You're also very old now at this point, but you always find a way for Atletico Madrid to like do something. Big games, big moments, you're always there. You're always playing as like maybe a second striker. In the midfield at times, you play deep, you play up. So I'm gonna give you a B. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move you to A. Yeah, you had a good season. Let's be honest. You had a good season. You fit the holes of this team wherever they lack. So you get an A for that. Javi Galan, you get a C. We all saw what Lamine Yamal did to you this season. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. You were getting just wrecked. Honestly, you're just better off sitting at the bench. Move it along. Go to a different club. When you're playing for Atletico Madrid, 4-4-2, or should I say a 10-1 formation, when you're trying to protect the one goal lead, it doesn't cut it for you. So just move on to a different club, move it along. Julian Alvarez, S. I think he's one of the best number nines. He can fit into pretty much any team. Versatility, his attack is really good. He's got a good shot on him. He's got a good IQ. He's got a good runs. I think he's a perfect number nine. and I think that's why a lot of teams want him because Man City bought him for like very cheap, maybe like 30, 40 million. Atletico Madrid bought him for like not 100, like a 80 million. But if they were to sell him, they would get 100 mil easy. Many teams would pay 100 mil for him. So I think there was great business by them because in a few years, if he wants to leave, they're gonna make money off him. So for that reason, he gets an S for just also having a fantastic 2024-2025 season. Koke gets a B, solid role player off the bench. Does his thing. He's been here for like 10,000 years, so he gets a B for that reason. You know what, I'm going to C. Yeah, he didn't play as much. Lorente, you get a B though. I think you had a little bit of a down year, but again, you also kind of just you're kind of like a glue to the team. You just play here and there whenever you can, fit in. Maybe it's right back, maybe it's center back, maybe it's midfield, maybe it's attacker, whatever it may be. You do the thing. So we're gonna give you a B for that. Molina, you're gonna get a C. I see you play off the bench more and more, and you do provide pretty good attacks off the bench. So I'm not gonna pretend that didn't happen, but I feel like you should. If you're facing Javi Galan as a right back, come on, like you got to do better. You're a fullback, you got to really push for minutes. So you get a C for that. Angel Correa, you're gonna get a B. I think you're a solid striker. You play a role, but once again, like you have a bunch of strikers on the team. Some of you guys need to take your chances, and I feel like you take your chances sometimes. Mostly off the bench. I think all these Atletico Madrid players are really good off the bench, but when it comes to starting your game, you guys are not there. That's why Simeone plays like 45 minutes and then he gets the next guy in. Pablo Barrios gets a B. Solid midfielder. I think he kind of broke out in a way this season, even though we kind of seen him for the last few seasons. I think it's a B for sure. And yeah, I forgot what his brother's name is, but you get a C. We saw what Lamine did to you as well. It cooked you. You're trash. You get a C. You're lucky to be on this team. Honestly, if you're not gone by next season, then Atletico Madrid, you might not even get to third place. All right, you might not get to third place. Leonel Mar, I butchered his name. We're just gonna ignore that. He gets a B. I think he was injured to start off the season, I want to say, and he played center back, but not as much as I think people hoped. So he gets a B for that. I think he's a solid player. Once again, he's gonna be here for a while too. But for this season, he gets a B. Rodrigo De Paul, A. I think their best midfielder, I want to say him and I'm not gonna call Griezmann a midfielder, but him and Conor Gallagher were probably the two best midfielders on this team. So I think that's all it is you get. He's rough. He plays Atletico Madrid style. He's also very good technically. So he gets an A for that. This player, no idea who this is. I forgot what this player's name is, but we'll give you a C. And Lamar, you don't play as well, so we'll give you a C for that too. So that's gonna do it for my Atletico Madrid tier list for 2024-2025 season. Let me know down in the comments what other teams you want me to react to. And yeah, drop a like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.